The gunshot cracked through the suburban morning, a single, deliberate blast that froze the world. It came from the end of the street, not from the two men in tactical vests looming over my 8-year-old son, Ethan, who lay crumpled on the sidewalk, his chalk-smeared hands twitching. Blood pooled beneath his head, staining the neon blue T-Rex he'd been drawing. My wife, Claire, screamed his name, her voice a jagged edge as she sprinted from the backyard, a spatula clattering to the pavement. I dropped my coffee mug, ceramic shattering, and ran toward Ethan, my heart pounding louder than the sirens already wailing in the distance. These weren't HOA reps. They were predators, and they'd just made a mistake that would unravel their world. It was a perfect Saturday in our quiet Willow Creek cul-de-sac, the kind of day that felt like a gift. The sun warmed the lawns, birds chirped, and the air smelled of Claire's barbecue. Ethan sat cross-legged on the sidewalk, sketching dinosaurs with a pack of chalk. He was obsessed with T-Rexes ever since a museum trip at 5 introduced him to their toothy grins. Today, he was creating a Murala blue T-Rex battling a red Triceratops, his tongue peeking out in concentration. He glanced up at me on the porch, checking if I was watching. I always was. Claire hummed a Dylan tune, flipping burgers. A neighbor waved as he jogged by. I sipped my coffee, thinking about mowing the lawn later. Then the black SUV rolled in. It moved too slowly, no plates, tinted windows, engine growling. It stopped in front of Ethan. My gut twisted. 2 men stepped out, wearing khaki vests stamped HOA. The first was broad, bald, with a scowl like he'd been carved from stone. The second, younger, buzz-cut, clutched a tablet, his eyes darting. They moved like soldiers, not bureaucrats. "Is this your property?" The bald one barked, pointing at Ethan. I stepped forward. "What's this about? Is that your kid?" He gestured at Ethan, who'd frozen, chalk in hand, staring up. "Yeah," I said, voice tight. "My son. What's the problem?" The buzz-cut guy flashed his tableta blurry document labeled HOA violation, sidewalk defacement. "This is vandalism," the bald man said. "Criminal mischief under municipal code." I almost laughed. Vandalism? It's chalk. He's 8. HOA rules prohibit markings on public surfaces, the bald man snapped. Claire appeared, spatula in hand, her face hardening. I noticed their vests had no name tags. No clipboards. Real HOA guys always had clipboards. These two looked like they'd raided a tactical gear store. "I've been to every HOA meeting since 20, I said, stepping onto the lawn. "Never seen you. This is our sidewalk." "He's drawing dinosaurs." They didn't answer. The buzz-cut guy moved toward Ethan. "Hey," I shouted. "Back off." Too late. The bald man shoved Ethan hard. The crack of bone on concrete was sickening, followed by Ethan's scream, sharp and brief. He crumpled, blood seeping from his head, his arm twisted unnaturally. Claire's scream came next, raw and desperate. I sprinted to Ethan, kneeling in his blood, his small body limp. His eyes fluttered, gasping, no sound. The men stood cold. "Non-compliance has consequences," the bald one muttered. Claire clutched Ethan's hand, sobbing. "Ethan, stay with me." I fumbled for my phone, dialing 911. "My son's hurt, 24 Oak Lane." "Hurry." The buzzcut guy reached for his waist. "Gun!" Claire screamed, lunging forward. But a metallic voice boomed. "Drop your weapon. Hands up." Marked SUVs screeched in, lights flashing. SWAT officers poured out, rifles raised. The fake HOA men froze. The buzzcut guy dropped the pistol. The bald man raised his hands. In seconds, they were cuffed, face down. One whimpered, a pathetic sound. Paramedics rushed to Ethan, stabilizing his neck. "Name?" one asked. "Ethan," I choked. "Stay with us, Ethan," the medic said, fitting an oxygen mask. They loaded him into the ambulance, but protocol kept us out. Claire and I rode in a cruiser, her hand crushing mine, Ethan's blood drying on our skin. Sirens wailed, but all I saw was his broken body. At the hospital, Ethan was rushed into surgery. A doctor listed his injuries: 28 fractures, 3 cracked ribs, a punctured lung, a skull fracture. Claire paced the waiting room, her eyes hollow. I stared at a vending machine, replaying Ethan's last words. Dad, do T-Rexes roar like lions? I'd promised to check YouTube later. Now, I prayed for a later. A detective approached Torres, mid-50s, calm but direct. Mr. and Mrs. Carper, I'm Detective Torres. Those men aren't HOA. They're Caleb Reese and Ethan Morse, ex-military, discharged for misconduct. They've been running a scam across suburbs, posing as HOA enforcers, issuing fake fines, intimidating families. Sometimes they target kids for leverage. Claire's cup hit the floor, water splashing. Leverage? We think they plan to take Ethan, Torres said. Short term, to scare you into paying. He fought back, and they lost control. A neighbor's camera caught it. We swat was so fast. I stood, legs shaking. This was a business? My son was a pawn. Torres didn't answer. A nurse interrupted. Ethan's awake. You can see him. In the ICU, Ethan lay wrapped in gauze, tubes everywhere. One eye was swollen, but he smiled weakly. Dad? Mom? Claire sobbed, kissing his hand. I leaned in. We're here, buddy. You're safe. He whispered. Did the T-Rex save me? I choked back tears. No, chump. You saved yourself. You screamed, and we heard you. Braver than a T-Rex? He asked. Braver than 10, I said. The news exploded. Fake HOA thugs attack 8-year-old. A neighbor's VY Deo went VY RAL 25 million VYUs in 24 hours. It showed the shove, Claire's screams, my sprint, the SWAT takedown. America watched, outraged. Torres updated us at the precinct. They're arraigned today assault, child endangerment, impersonation, fraud. Nobody. We found Dula 50,000 in fake fines and shell accounts. This was organized. Through a one-way mirror, I saw Reese and Morse in orange jumpsuits. Reese trembled. Morse muttered, eyes down. They'll flip on each other, Torres said. Ethan's recovery was brutal. Physical therapy meant re-breaking bones, hours of pain. Claire massaged his joints. I read him dinosaur facts. He flinched at doorbells, slept with a light on, but kept drawing T-Rexes, fiercer each time. The trial was swift. The courtroom overflowed with neighbors, Ethan's teachers, parents. Judge Maria Cortez, a former DA, set the tone. This is about justice. The prosecution played the VY Deo twice. Ethan's body hitting pavement echoed. Jurors winced. Someone cried. Torres testified. Reese and Morse used forged HOA documents, leased SUVs, targeted vulnerable families. In Texas, a 7-year-old was held for an hour until parents paid due law $3,000. Fear silenced VY Timpson till Ethan. I testified simply. My son was drawing a T-Rex. They called it vandalism, shoved him, broke 28 bones. They didn't help. They reached for a gun. Ethan didn't speak. He sat in his wheelchair, staring at Reese and Morse. They couldn't look at him. His silence was power. The defense claimed Reese was unstable. Morse misled. It didn't matter. The verdict came fast, guilty on all counts. Life without parole. The courtroom cheered. Ethan squeezed my hand. Can I draw now? Anything you want, I said. Outside, the sidewalk bloomed with Chaka T-Rex with a shield, Ethan's name in bold. Neighbors added suns, stars, dinosaurs. The city funded a permanent mural. Ethan, chalk in hand, facing fear. Hands reached out behind him, a community united. The fallout was seismic. Ethan's story aired on CNN, NBC. He gave one interview VYEW, casts and all. I thought they were cops, he said. But my mom was louder, my dad was faster. I wasn't alone. To kids, he said, be loud. Be a T-Rex. For families came forward in Oregon and Arizona, reporting similar scams. The DOJ's Operation Sentinel arrested 12 fake enforcers in 6 months. Ethan's case made impersonating authority to harm kids a federal felony. Ethan healed, step by grueling step. He walked again, first with braces, then free. Nightmares lingered, but so did his grit. At school, he brought chalk to recess, drawing until kids joined. His favorite T-Rex with a light sword became the logo for Chalk Valor, our nonprofit, aiding 50 families against HOA abuse. The old HOA dissolved. A packed meeting rebuilt it with transparency. They named the park Ethan Harper Commons. He reminded us to stand up, a neighbor said. At the park's dedication, Ethan spoke, voice steady. I thought I was alone, but my parents fought, and you're all here. If someone pretends, tell someone, especially if you're small. The crowd roared. Ethan pointed to a chalk T-Rex. And if you need help, I know a T-Rex who's ready. A new drawing appeared on our driveway. Ethan, cast free, holding chalk and a badge labeled real. Above, in VY Brant colors, they broke my bones but not my roar. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.